Hello there, and welcome to Dr. T for today, December the 6th. We are starting off with Stage 1, of course doing tanks, up the right-hand side. I'm throwing critters to show you what you should be letting your tanks blow up. Don't flare your tanks up to where, I flared my tanks, really. And honestly, you know what, you could probably get away without having to blow up either of those defensive buildings, because if you did go around the right-hand side and took out all the boxes and stuff, your troops are going to be nice and safe. You're going to be laughing. And if you're rolling like Hookah, throw a shock down. I'm pretty sure you can hit both the defensive buildings and, call it a day. Again, flare to where my critters landed, and don't flare to where I'm flaring. Come around the back end there, you can take out a couple of mortars. They should do absolutely nothing to your tanks. Even if you had level 1 tanks, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to melt those. And once the mortars are melted, you're wide open. You got your win. Move on, enjoy your loot. Now, this stage, you might have to smoke, like if you're landing a full complement, you might actually have to smoke that landing. Or if you really want, just land, let your tanks take out the sniper towers and flamethrowers that are right on the beach, and then cut over to the right and move up and around. Once eventually you end up in the corner, kind of where that flare is just running out there, you'll be taking out the flamethrowers, working up some extra GBE, and then you can flare up into range of the sniper tower. One shock takes out all the defenses that can actually shoot you, and then you're going to be able to go after that HQ with nothing around you at all, and you got nothing to worry about. Stage 3, going down like a chump, moving on to Stage 4. Now, Stage 4, things got a little bit tougher. Because I have so few tanks, the shock launchers actually are more effective, because literally each shock is 100% complete dead stop. So I kind of just let it happen because I knew I could handle it. Obviously, if you're slightly lower level, throw a shock down, that'll hit the machine gun and the shock, and then, your tanks will get there a little quicker, but you're not going to be taking that much damage. You probably don't even have to worry about it. And then I let the tanks kind of just drift up the left-hand side there. I know they're going towards the boom cannon, and you're saying to yourself, boom cannons and tanks don't mix. It's like throwing a party and inviting Democrats and Republicans. I don't know. Two things that don't. Oil and water. Yeah. Actually, oil and water can be fun, though. Anyways, it's how you start the best grease fires. Go around the right-hand side. Obviously, throw a shock down on the cannon. I let that one tank take a few too many hits. If you've got medics, you're not going to have to worry about it. The medics probably would have countered that perfectly. And then, of course, I'm taking out some extra stuff just to do it. But, if your tanks are sitting there, they're going to be fine. You're going to get the win. You got 2 minutes to burn down a few 100,000 hit points. It should be doable. Hopefully, with luck. Now, Stage 5. Again, if you're landing a full set of boats, you're definitely going to have to smoke the left-hand side because of that boom cannon. And you're going to want a GBE. I used artillery. I split it between the boom cannon and the regular cannon. I would suggest doing this because then you can use your barrages on that boom cannon back there with the two cannons kind of at the, what would that be, like 10 o'clock from the HQ? And you'll be able to use the barrages, take out the boom cannon and the two cannons, and if you can take those out, if you suck your tanks all the way back over to the right-hand side, you've got like 2 or 3 rocket launchers that are gonna fire. Really not a big deal. The important thing is to keep them away from the boom mine that you can kind of see sitting there right in front of the sniper tower, and the sniper tower also, because that sniper tower will do horrible things to your tanks. As you can see, I had the one tank get really low just because I wasn't really paying attention to it. I was like, it's stage 5, nah. And then, kind of had to step back for a moment, gather myself, and move forward. So, take that down. Do your happy dance of loot and move on to Stage 6, which is really starting to get tough. Again, we're looking at a smoky beach landing. This time I actually landed like a full complement of tanks, so it's a perfect showing of exactly what I'm talking about. So with the left side wide freaking open like that, I threw my flare down a little bit further over than I normally would, and then come the smoky tanks. It's an absolutely fantastic thing. It's like a Christmas special. Just instead of smoke, pretend that it's snow? You know, like blizzard tanks? Kind of like G.I. Joe, where they had like the different guy for all the different environments. You know, you had like the scuba diving guy and the guy for with the white outfit because he was the Arctic G.I. Joe, and the desert G.I. Joe, and the firefighter G.I. Joe. Anyways, these ones can be the winter blizzard tanks. Anyways, moving on. I may have drifted a little too far down G.I. Joe Reverie Lane. Like, I was just like, oh man, that crazy helicopter, and anyway. So when you start getting into, I guess, the heart of this base, or the middle, there are two boom cannons, which you can see right there. I've kind of got them shocked. You're definitely going to want to save your shocks for these guys, because you're going to have to toss down some serious shocks just to keep them distracted. I would also suggest throwing down some critters, because there's also another boom cannon just behind them, and even though you're keeping the two that are right in front of you shocked, that one you will eventually move into range of, and if you don't throw the critters down, that boom cannon's probably going to do some horrible, nasty things to your tanks. So make sure you take out that tank. Also, I'd like to take a moment while my tanks are slowly finishing off this HQ to point out that that crazy SOB chicken ate a freaking onion. I don't even know what I'm gonna do about this. I felt horrible. I felt bad. I feel like I honestly was seriously considering eating an onion for solidarity's sake, just because I felt so bad that he had to do it. But then I thought about it and I was like, no, that's eating a freaking onion. That'd be horrible. So I don't know. I'll find a way to make up for it. Throw your critters on 7 for the landing. It'll distract the boom cannon in the sniper tower, and then load up all your tanks. Do not let your tanks go past the 2 machine guns, because then they're going into boom cannon territory. Make sure you suck them back down into the bottom corner where they can blow up machine guns and flamethrowers and stuff. Very, very important, because, well, boom cannons are bad, okay? So keep just like nudging them over to the left just until you're out of range of the boom cannon and you're a little bit safer. And then there's one more boom cannon a little further up that's surrounded by cannons. Now this is wonderful because you can blow up all 3. So 2 cannons and a boom cannon with, you know, a couple of artilleries and barrages. And with like that little core of cannon badness all gone, it really makes the rest of this attack a breeze. Like, I honestly got to the point where, like, I was pulling in there and I'm like, oh, I should be running out of GB. What the heck? Like, it was absolutely fantastic. I was even using, like, barrages and stuff on sniper towers. I had so much GBE. Obviously, shocks for all the cannons in the sniper tower up in the top corner there. And then just keep hugging around the left, let your tanks slowly work down towards the HQ, and eventually you're gonna blow them all up. And once they're all blowed up good, it's a matter of taking down the HQ. You can call it a day. Anyways, that's how you take down Dr. T today. Honestly, 7, I feel like it's one of the easier 7s that we've seen in the last little bit, so if you've been struggling with 7 or you've only been going after 6, give this 7 a shot. It might be the one for you. Anyways, guys, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully it's been entertaining. And most importantly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.